Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show. Real talk, big opinions, and fearless conversations. From the front lines of politics to the latest in pop culture. From breaking sports headlines to the stories that move the world. Nothing's off limits, and nobody's holding back. Arrington Gavin is here to break it down, build it up, and keep it all the way real. So turn it up, lean in, and let's get into it. This is the Arrington Gavin Show.
What's happening, family? How y'all feeling this evening? What is going on? Welcome to the Arrington Gavin Show, your go-to spot for sharp insights, bold opinions, and unfiltered takes on the biggest stories of the day. Whether it's politics, sports, pop culture, or the latest buzz, look, we're diving deep and keeping it real. So do me a favor, kick back, stay informed, and get ready to join the conversation. As always, fam, I'm your guy, your friend, your homie, Arrington Gavin, coming in on this great evening. I hope you all are having a wonderful evening. Thank you, as always, for taking 1 hour of your time to tune into the Arrington Gavin Show. We got a lot in store for you on today's show. NBA Hall of Famer, NBA Finals champ, and now turned sports analyst Paul Pierce is wilding on these podcasts. I asked the big question: who is giving this mofo a mic? Because this guy think he has all the answers and knows everything, and he just doesn't care. What I mean by that is because recently Paul Pierce said that black NBA players date white women because they apologize more. That is interesting. In addition to that, he gives his take on marriage, how is really just a scam. It only benefits poor people and mainly women. I'm like, once again, who the hell is giving this guy a mic? So we'll chop that up in the beginning of the show, and then also staying into the realm of politics in the beginning of the show. Songwriter, multi-award winning singer-songwriter, the legend, the icon, Smokey Robinson is in the news, not for the right reasons. This is very, very serious. He has recently been accused of sexual assault, so we'll talk a little more in regards to those horrific allegations. And then later on, we'll chop it up in with some politics. Mainly the theme in politics in this go round, y'all, is the issues that are occurring in both parties, the massive issues that is occurring in both parties, because both of them are in rebuilding stages right now. The Democratic Party is recovering from the massive ass beating that they received in the last presidential election. The Republican Party is trying to rebuild their party because they're being swallowed over from MAGA, right? MAGA is what's in the White House right now. Now, the Republican Party has been pretty vocal in supporting them, but you still have some of those strongholds that are trying to play their cards right. They're trying to hold that established, that old school Democratic Party and Republican Party and Republican value. And so we're seeing a lot occur, a lot of different strategies that are taking place because it is primary season. You got midterms here going on, so they're trying so many different tactics and strategies to, okay, how can we gain more power or keep the power that we currently have? So we'll talk about that here in the conversation on this show. Y'all, let me tell y'all something. Your boy has been under the weather. Not a serious cold, but had a bit of a health scare. I want to share with you because I feel like I'm always honest with you all. There was an evening. One night I was just having a really, really, really bad headache. I asked my wife, I'm like, hey, you got anything I can take? Like, just some Tylenol or something. So boom, take that, go to bed. But I'm still like, the headache kind of turned into like, oh, I feel like I'm about to bring up blase. And got up around like 6 a.m. I mean, straight lava coming out from the front, like blah, 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 and would not stop. It was from like 6 to like 8:30, y'all. And went back to sleep. Well, went back to bed. I really couldn't sleep because I was just having these really bad abdominal pains. That same day, I had this very important meeting that I really wanted to make because I had to reschedule it, and so I really wanted to make this meeting. And I should have stayed home, listened to my wife because she knows best. Should have listened to my wife, but instead I went out because I was determined. I'm just one of those sticklers. Like, hey, look, I'm determined to get this job done. So went out, had a great meeting. It was successful. Thank you, Lord. Um, Ordered a salad, can barely put down lettuce, but I ate it just to put something on my stomach because I couldn't even put down crackers and a banana. And so by the time I get back home, try to rest a little more. Uh, Another episode of vomiting occurred. All right. And so I'm like, okay, this is not good. So I finished all the peak was gone, right? Did did not have an appetite, starting to get my appetite slightly, but yeah, I keep on having this sharp pain in my abdominal area. So my wife, my mother, they're like, "Hey, you need to go to the hospital. You need to go to." I'm like, "Look, I just need to rest. I just need to rest because look, I'm that guy, y'all." And this is a lesson learned because I'm hoping to share this. I want to share this with you because I know I'm not the only one. I don't like going to the doctor's office because if my symptoms are well, not symptoms, if my results are not as life threatening, I don't want to go to the doctors where I'm surrounded by folks that might be very severely ill and something that's contagious and I might catch it and then I'm screwed because it's like, all right, I'm in here sitting in here waiting. I'm like, well, if I'm not that sick, I am now because people are hacking up a lung and snot and all this. I'm like, get me out of here. So I was really holding it off. And by the time I get to the doctor's office later that evening, urgent care closed. I'm like, okay, I'll just do it next morning. My wife was like, look, you better go to the doctor. So trying to fast forward the story. But next morning I go, urgent care says you need to go to the ER because I'm not I want to make sure they can really do the proper tests and everything. So long story short, today I did a bunch of tests. I was in the ER, stayed there for a minute. They gave me all sorts of medicine and this and that. I'm taking some as we speak right right now. And still having those abdominal pains. By the way, I've scheduled an appointment to see what could be the issue. They said it could be what at first they mentioned like gallbladder or gallstones, and now they're talking about ulcers. So it's a little bit of everything, right? Now I'm letting you know this for one because I love being upfront and honest with you all. But in addition to that, the importance of taking care of your body, the importance of taking care of your health mentally, physically, emotionally, internally, externally. For me, I am a I'm a hard worker, right? Like we all are. I'm a hustler. I'm work has always been one of my biggest priorities. I am the guy that avoids taking a day off when it comes to working, and I sometimes can ignore taking care of myself. That being said, when it comes to what kind of food I put in my body, all right, when it comes to not exercising as much, which I should do. So being with these results, I don't know what I'm still taking some more tests, but what the results will come out, I am changing my diet. Right? No fried food, no heavy greasy food, no spicy food because I love spicy food. Oh, it kills me. I love spicy food. I put hot sauce on everything. And so I'm just again taking you got to take care of yourself, y'all, especially my brothers and sisters in the black community. We have to take care of ourselves because the kind of food that we were raised off of, salt, sugar, all right, fried food, scraps, the whole 9 yards. That's the food we were raised off in our community. And so uh I just again want to let you all know that it is extremely important that we take care of our bodies. All right. It is extremely important that we take care of our bodies. And please, if you haven't got checked out yet or had any physical or don't do regular physicals, please do so. If you haven't, if you're a certain age and haven't got tested for any forms of illnesses, please do, because it is so important and it is a must, right? I say it all the time. why y'all can take the best of care to your material items like your vehicles. You can get the best coverage with this, best coverage with that. Make sure your car is filled with gas. Make sure it doesn't have a scratch and this and that and the other. But you don't take care of your own health. Come on, y'all. You take care of your garden, you take care of your house, you take care of your cars, but you don't take care of yourself. You spend all the money on the best of shoes, best of the finest of clothes. You dine in the finest of restaurants, but you don't put that effort into yourself. So please, please, please take care of yourself, y'all. All right, we're gonna take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll have a lot more here on the Arrington Gavin Show. Don't go anywhere.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to.
And we still in traffic.
I don't look familiar, do I? Not in this seat.
Hey, what's that you listening to?
Here to host today.
Hey, turn it up.
With me?
Yeah, this that new GoatVerse app. I got you.
So y'all want to know where the goats are? They're off on the sidelines.
Looking for fresh, relevant content wherever you go?
What was the name of that he said?
Introducing GoatVerse TV.
GoatVerse, that's what it's called.
The free streaming app that brings you the best podcasts, current events, and thought-provoking opinions all in one place. Download it now from the Apple Store or Play Store. In Goats, we trust.
Order your beard care products with Rugged Evolution. We're your local beard care line that supports the maintenance of your full, mature beard. Our line includes conditioning shampoos, moisturizers, balms, oils, shaving lotions, and exfoliating soaps. These products moisturize, hydrate, nourish, and have all the natural ingredients for a healthy beard. Log on to our website or download our app to place your orders. Become a man of distinction with Rugged Evolution Beard Care. And remember,
Rugged is the new smooth.
People age 65 and older are at high risk of injury, especially from falls and car crashes. But older adults can take steps to stay safe from injury and be independent longer. Tell your doctor if you have fallen, if you worry about falling, or if you feel unsteady when standing or walking. Learn more about preventing falls and aging without injury at cdc.gov/stillgoingstrong.
All right, y'all. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Arrington Gavin Show. Let me look. It's funny as I'm doing this right now. My wife has texted me. She's like, "Have you taken your medicine yet?" I'm like, "I will be taking it, honey. It hasn't been the time yet, but I am on my way to doing that." Gotta shout out my ride or die, Miss Shier Gavin. Love you, boo. Love you. So let's get it going with our first story here. As I mentioned in the beginning of the show, I asked the question, who the hell is giving Paul Pierce a microphone? I asked that question. Now, look, Paul Pierce, when it comes to the sport of basketball, when it comes to sports in general, he is an expert in that field. Don't get me wrong. He is an expert in that field. But when it comes to other certain things, it's just... maybe you need to ease off. And we're catching, we are catching a pattern with a lot of former professional athletes that are becoming content creators and building a larger audience and bigger careers in that field, because the typical pattern you would see coming from newly retired professional athletes was, okay, once they retired, they either go into coaching, some form of front office position within the organization that they originally played for, or sports analyst, sports commentator, right? Football, they retire, go straight into the NFL Network, and boom, you're a commentator when it comes to the sport of football. Or you go to ESPN, you go to FS1, college, sports, you name it. Which Paul Pierce is doing that. He was originally with ESPN, but we all know the viral video of that he posted on his social media platform where he had strippers at his house and he was smoking weed and having a good time with his friends. But at the end of the day, at that time, he was working for the mouse. Yes, that's right. He was working for ESPN, which is owned by Disney, and Disney ain't having that. So from there on, it was a long absence from hearing from him, and he was, still enjoying his life, right? He wasn't a broke guy. He's been smart with his money. But he was appearing on podcasts time to time, and now he's fully on Fox Sports 1, I think, hosting or co-hosting a show called what is it? Can We Speak or Speakers? He is a show along with Joy Taylor, Keyshawn Johnson, and I believe James Jones, former wideout from the NFL wide receiver. So let me go ahead and play this soundbite if I can pull it up here, because this is a clip right here of Paul Pierce explaining his thoughts on marriage, right? Marriage being like, hey, look, you only should get married once you're 70, because at that age, what can you do? Ain't nothing really working. It's pretty boring. But he's saying marriage is for poor people and old people. Poor people and old people. That's his words, not mine. And later on, I'll speak on him saying how black NBA players date white women because they are more apologetic. So let me play this first soundbite with his take on marriage.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because I feel like every relationship shouldn't be based off sex, but every relationship is based off of that.
I don't think so.
100%. You can't tell me nothing different. This is what I feel, and that's why I'll never be in another relationship, because it's always based off of that.
So you're not going to be in another relationship?
Hell no. For what? Because it's going to be based off the sex. Once that wear down, you're going to go find somebody else that's better. Yeah. But it ain't going to be based off of. This is the thing. And listen carefully. Listen carefully.
I'm listening.
Relationships. Let me tell you what marriage is all about. Or let me tell you what marriage is and who's marriage for. Marriage is for old people and poor people.
Okay, so let's get into that. Why?
Because when you broke, our parents, like my moms and all them, they married on a merit of like, okay, we're going to put our incomes together, have all these kids, and then when our kids, we're going to have 5, 10 kids back in the 60s, all them, they're going to have 5, 10 kids so they can work and bring income.
Yeah.
So you poor. So you married for that. And now when you get old, somebody that to be by your side to take care of you. Right now, my mom got married. My mom never been married in my lifetime. She got married when she was 70.
Wow.
It was perfect. She had somebody by her side the whole way through.
So do you...
I really believe that. Like, that's what, like, outside of that, it's no advantage to a man. Why is marriage an advantage? What advantage? What does it do for a man when things go south? Like, we gonna have to give up half our this, pay child support, but what do it's only advantageous to a woman. Like, it's real talk.
But what if you meet a woman and you're like, wow, she's a gem, she's valuable, she's everything, and I want to lock her down in marriage?
I don't want to lock no woman down. We could be cool.
So you're telling me right now today,
you
on January 4th, you do not want to be in a relationship ever again?
I don't think it's realistic long term until I turn 70.
I am done.
like what? I'm not gonna fully go ham on Paul, because here's the thing. So the name of this podcast that he was on is a podcast that he co-hosts alongside let's see, his co-host Azar Faride, I believe that's how it's pronounced. The name of the podcast is called Truth After Dark with Paul and Azar. A great title, obviously. It explains After Dark, which After Dark conversation, you have those unfiltered, unapologetic, topics. But here's the thing. Paul is not no damn expert. He was married once, divorced, and the rest is history. Now, obviously, I'm not going to get into details of why they divorced, but I mean, here in this conversation, I can see who was more of the corporate. But everybody has a different priority and a different take on marriage. So I'll say it again. Everybody has a different take and a different priority when it comes to marriage, right? There's some folks that uh when they find their forever person, they get married, and that's what they want to do. They either want to get married at this age, that age. You want to get married young, you either want to get married when you're middle age, you either want to get married when you're old. That's perfectly fine. Everybody has a different route. Some folks want to get married and immediately have kids. Some folks want to take their time and have kids, or some marriages don't want to have kids in general and just want to enjoy each other. All right. There is been stories where people get married because of financial reasons or citizenship reasons, or it's just a way of to kind of get on your feet, a startup way. People have different strategies and priorities, but I think Paul's giving you his honest opinion, which I respect. I'm all about honest opinion. To say that it's for poor people and old people, I think it's laughable. I don't think marriage is for old people. For one, it's a total opposite when it comes to old people, because you don't see old people really getting married like that. Old people, they I've seen most old people have boyfriend and girlfriend become on that relationship status, but they don't get married. They're like, why the hell do I need to get married? I'm old. I got my own place. They got theirs. We just want that companionship. We want to be together. We want that relationship on, like, I don't want to leave this earth alone, or I just want to always have something to do. And that's a beautiful thing. So I think it's the opposite when it comes to old people. Now, to say for poor people, let's be honest. What do we always hear? It's it's cheaper to keep her. Now, that's always been said for guys, but that's pretty much the same thing as far as for women, or for your spouse. Divorce is expensive. It's more affordable to be together, because yes, there's certain benefits coming with that, financially. But look, Paul is a self-made man. He's doing what he wants to do. I don't think it's I don't think it's the truth, or if it's realistic, because really all he's talking about is he just want to get out there and bang bang bang. That's all he want. That's all he want to do. He's saying he's talking all about the sex aspect, and not the compassion, not the love. Like, you don't realize when you love somebody, when you find that person that you truly love, that's always going to have your back. That's always, like, it's funny because, like, I always tell my wife, like, we love having our alone time, our personal time to ourselves, right? My wife, she might go on a work trip, she's gone for a few days. I might go on a trip, I'm gone for a few days, or I'm doing longer hours, and we will be separated for quite some time. And then, but we're like, we need that time to ourselves, because we not always want to be hugged up next to each other. But at the end of the day, when we're away from each other, we truly miss each other, because we're like, oh man, I can't. This is weird. I gotta be with my baby. I gotta be with my wife. So again, everybody has a different way of compassion and different type of love. Paul sound like Paul is talking from a hard place. He talking from heartbreak or something, because he's speaking on just bitterness, or he been puffing on that herb or something, because he talking that nonsense. Let me go ahead and come out of this and then add on to this story right here. As I spoke earlier, Paul Pierce says NBA players date white women because they apologize more. So recently, he shared again on his podcast with rapper Guapa Dad 4000, never really heard of him, to discuss relationship and dating. Question comes with, he says, why do you feel like men, especially NBA players, get with white women? Is it because they're easy? That's what his co-host asked. He said, I honestly think that maybe they appreciate more and they apologize more. Yo, once again, this podcast is not, in my opinion, helping his brand, but hey, look, we live in a world where clickbait is power and clickbait is value. We see we see a lot of these programs, a lot of these self-made podcasts where you have the face, who is Paul Pierce, because everybody knows who he is. No one really knows who his co-host is, but his co-host sounds like she's a true journalist. You can hear it in her speech. You can hear it in the questions that she asks, in her responses. You have like you have your captain of the ship, and then you have your co-captain. And so I think she is making her look more better, and it's improving her brand compared to Paul. Paul is just like, what are you doing? But he could care less. He can care less. But to say that uh one is more apologetic is truly disrespectful to black women. And I do not condone as black women. I love black women. I love all women, but I love my black women too. And to say that white women are more apologetic, I don't know about that, Paul. I don't know about that. I don't know that, because how many times do you hear about black women sticking with their men through thick and thin, through the ups and the downs, through the worst of the worst? You think Denzel Washington was an angel throughout his whole marriage? You think Samuel Jackson was an angel throughout his whole marriage? You think let me see. You think LL Cool J's wife was you think he was faithful or not faithful, but do you think they never had any issues throughout their marriage? I mean, come on, people. Common sense. But yeah, so as I end this story, this conversation with Paul Pierce, again I ask, who the hell gave your boy a mic? Who gave your boy a mic? Oh my goodness gracious. Let me go ahead before I move on to the next story. I do want to shout out some of our proud supporters of the Arrington Gavin show, like our friends over at Priority Ford. That's right, my friends over at Priority Ford. Looking for the best deals on Ford vehicles? Priority Ford, they make your car buying experience smooth, easy, and exciting. From powerful trucks like the Ford F-150 to versatile SUVs like the Ford Explorer, they've got the perfect ride for your lifestyle. And with Priority for Life, you get complimentary oil changes, state inspections, and more for, guess what, as long as you own your vehicle. Plus, they have financing options to fit every budget. So again, why wait? Do me a favor, go ahead and visit Priority Ford by going to PriorityFord.com. Your dream car is waiting. Priority Ford, where you always come first. I would like to thank Priority Ford for being a proud supporter of the Arrington Gavin show. Shout out to Priority Ford. All right, let's move it on to the next story. On to the next on. All right, let me stop. So this is a truly a sad story that came across my feed that I want to share with you all. Legend. I repeat, songwriting legend, legendary singer, one of the founders of Motown, Smokey Robinson, recently has been accused of sexual assault by 4 women in a $50 million lawsuit. Let me go ahead and pull this up for you all who are watching. By the way, shout out to those who are tuning in by way of WBOK 12:30 a.m. New Orleans. You can tune into the Arrington Gavin show Monday through Fridays at 7 p.m. Central Time. Also to our friends over in the Metro Atlanta area by way of WDJY 99.1 FM. Straight talk out of I mentioned the Metro Atlanta area. You can tune into the Arrington Gavin show Monday through Fridays at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then also, shout out for those who are streaming us right now on YouTube, on the Arrington Gavin YouTube channel, as well as Rumble, and let's see, and Goatverse TV. Yes, shout out to Goatverse TV. Please download the app. It's free, available on the App Store, Google Play Store, Roku, as well as Amazon Fire. It's filled with amazing programs like myself, and it's a wonderful app. So just honored to be a part of that growing network. And then lastly, you can listen to us on the go on wherever you listen to your podcast. We're available on all major podcast platforms. So as I continue this, yes, Smokey Robinson. Uh, ex-housekeepers accused Motown legend of sexual battery, false imprisonment, negligence, and gender violence. This was abuse that claims that happened for almost 20 years. Almost 20 years. So let me read this to you. This reported by The Guardian says here that Motown legend Smokey Robinson has been accused of sexual assault and misconduct by 4 women. Identified identified only as Jane Doe's 1, 2, 3, and 4, who worked as housekeepers for the Robinsons. A complaint filed in Los Angeles Supreme Court lists charges including sexual battery, false imprisonment, negligence, and gender violence. The complaint seeks $50 million in total in damages for the 4 women. Now, the lawsuit also names Robinson's wife, and lists a litany of alleged labor violations, including failure to pay minimum wage, failure to pay overtime, inaccurate wage statements, and hostile work environment. Robinson's towering status, for those, again, I mentioned he is a legend, so just kind of go back on his career of decades in the music industry, starting as his founding of the Motown group The Miracles in 1955. Robinson claims credits on more than 4,000 songs with production credits including The Temptations, Marvin Gaye, and he has spots in both the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and the Songwriters Hall of Fame. According to these complaints, it says here by a Los Angeles-based firm, Harris and Hayden, Robin's larger-than-life status was an intimidating factor in coming forward with the allegations. Let's see here. I'm quoting here, says they're Hispanic women who were employed by the Robinsons earning below minimum wage. As low-wage women in vulnerable positions, they lacked the resource and options necessary to protect themselves for sexual assault. So the complaint shows a pattern not just in the accuser's background, but in their allegations. Jane Doe's 1, 3, and 4 all allege that Robinson sexually assaulted them in the blue bedroom of the Chatworth residence, and laying down a towel to protect the bedside sheets prior to the assaults. Wow. Jane Doe's 4th account includes allegations of rape at Robinson's Las Vegas and Bell Canyon's home. Jane Doe's allegations state that Robinson's raped her in the laundry room and garage of Chatworth's residence, where closed circuit cameras were unable to see. Now, again, I don't want to continue because I gave you pretty much a majority of what has been shared here, but these are all allegations. Again, innocent to proven guilty. There's no truth to this. These are all allegations. She has been accused of these crimes. It's a tough story. It's, you hate to discuss it, especially for those who are huge Smokey Robinson fans like myself. But when it's it's our job to share with you all, keep you up to speed of what's happening in our world. Smokey is, I believe he's like 81, 84, something like that. So up there in age. The fact this happened 20 plus years ago. I would, as a man, or as a person that's never been assaulted, I can't. And again, these are all allegations, but you just don't know the mindset, because the biggest question that comes up to mind is why so long? Why wait so long? Why not just tell that day of? And people, y'all have to understand, there is such thing as abuse of power. There is such thing as when what comes with higher power comes higher status, comes with the right people, comes with, you can get away with a lot of stuff. Now, again, these are all allegations, but I'm just letting you know that don't always just say, well, why did you wait so long? I get it. You can be, you can be upset when it's dealing with the person that you are truly a fan of. But also there is such thing as making up these stories to just get an easy paycheck, the get rich quick scheme, or get that payday, right? It happens all the time with celebrities, false accusations, and they try to demeanor their brand and their career just so that they can settle, or get some kind of pay and just get some money. Because again, they're seeking money in damages. They're not seeking justice, where it's like, okay, look, he needs to go to jail. And I think that's how the law works. I think after a certain amount of years goes by, I think you really can't. I'm not aware. I don't think you can actually. Well, no, you can serve some jail time, because it happened with Bill Cosby. So I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting, but I'll continue to follow up with this story, y'all. Most likely, I'll probably talk a little bit about it on my Substack. So if you haven't subscribed to our Substack, please do so. I truly appreciate that, my friends. Let's go ahead and we're gonna go ahead and take a commercial break. We'll be right back with more here on the Arrington Gavin Show. Do not go anywhere.
Jazarian Learning Institute, LLC, is a hybrid learning center that strives to educate adults and children in all fields. During the day, we offer programs that are focused on developing students from pre-K to 12th grade, which includes tutoring, homeschool co-op, an after-school program, SAT, ACT prep, and many more engaging academic programs. Our adult education programs include workforce trainings, GED prep, life coaching, various seminars, and many more. Our vision is to train and educate in a positive way that will lead to a positive change in the world, one person at a time. For more information, visit us online at JazarianLearningInstitute.com or call us at 757-208-7407.
Just like a winning team evolves throughout the season, so does your beard. I'm Arrington Gavin, proud CEO of Rugged Evolution Beard Care. With our premium oils, balms, and grooming tools, it's everything you need to level up your beard game. Whether you're a seasoned pro or a rookie, Rugged Evolution is the new smooth. Order now and dominate the beard game like never before. Rugged Evolution Beard Care, because every beard deserves to be legendary.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back to the Arrington Gavin Show. Want to bring up let's move it on to some politics here. Want to move it on to the realm of, I want to ask a question to you all. I want to ask you the question: has black voters been suckered into voting for Democrats? Have they been suckered in? Have they been suckered into voting for Democrats? Now, I bring this up because, of course, the rising political commentator that is of Stephen A. Smith, who is now he's making a career out of it, right? He's grown a presence on News Nation. I'm surprised they haven't made him. Well, I would say he's pretty much a regular. He appears on a weekly basis, I would say, on News Nation and on other platforms, Fox News, CNN. He has his own YouTube show that's pretty much political, sports, based. But he brings up he was talking with News Nation's Chris Cuomo, and this is what he had to say in regards to his frustration with the Democratic Party, and he's speaking on behalf of just the black people and the culture. Now I know a lot of folks are probably not too happy because not a lot of black folks don't care too much for Stephen A. Smith. I personally, I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I think he practices what he preaches. He's unapologetic about it. Doesn't care whatever anybody has to say. Like myself, I could care less of what other people think about my opinion on things. But let me go ahead and share this soundbite with him with this conversation with Chris Cuomo on News Nation.
Black Americans have played the role of suckers to the Democratic Party. They've guilted us into voting for them, making us feel as if we're going to be ostracized, creating division within our own communities or what have you to get our vote.
He really does seem to believe that there is a moment here for Republicans to grab not just Latinos. People misunderstand Latinos as a demographic, even more so than they misunderstand the black community, as if every black is the same. But that there's an opportunity that black voters don't have to belong to Democrats. Do you believe that?
I do believe that. It's going to take more convincing, but I believe that he's touching on something that can't be ignored. I heard him loud and clear talking about the blacks and how the blacks love him so much, and historically black colleges and university. I mean, it was, listening to him, it was funny and uncomfortable all rolled up into one. But it doesn't mean that we negate recognizing the validity of his point. Remember when he was campaigning in 2015, 2016, he basically looked at Black America and said, what do you have to lose? He was basically pointing to the Democratic Party and how for so long, so many promises have been made, but ultimately what you're doing is trying to encourage us to lean on a party and lean on government.
So here's my thing. Now, Stephen A is not all the way wrong with that. I mean, it's some truth to it, but I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't. How can I put it? Suckered is a strong word. I think the way the message has always been promoted was black people, you have to vote for a Democrat, or Democratic Party in this because, hey, we know your best interest. We're not the party of wealth and money like the Republicans. Republicans are always going to look out for the wealth and all that jazz, right? It's the opposite on the Democratic side. When it comes to the black community, yeah, we have wealthy individuals, but it's not the majority. So you're gonna have like majority of your inner cities and your low income communities that can benefit off of policies from the Democratic Party and just in general, right? So I actually jotted down a list of bad qualities and good qualities. I'm gonna start with the bad qualities first because I do believe that there have been promises promises that are always being shared or say, look, we're going to do this for you, we're going to do this, and it's never met. And it gets annoying as hell because it's like, okay, we continue to push our vote for you guys, and you're still doing this, you're still doing that, you're still doing this. And I'm tired of the waiting. I'm tired, especially when you find out where it's like, okay, you look like for the black community, oh, it's some hope at the edge of the tunnel. I see a light at the edge of the tunnel, and you get like 10 or 12 Democrats that will say, well, I'm going to vote on this bill with the Republican parties on this. So now that's taken away. So it's just like the back and forth. Let me read you some of these bad qualities. So taking the black vote for granted. Absolutely. They take the black vote for granted. We've seen it time and time again. Personally, I've heard this in conversations. I think they think that the LGBTQ community has kind of been like the Democratic Party has taken better care of the LGBTQ community than they do the black community. That I've heard in conversations. Give me your take on that. Put it in the in the comment section if you're watching this video right now, or DM me. What is your thoughts with that statement? Also, mixed record on criminal justice reform. So key Democratic figures, including former President Joe Biden and Bill Clinton, supported the 1994 crime bill, and other tough on crime policy that contribute to the mass incarceration of black men. Black community has not apologized for, has not forgiven folks like a Joe Biden and Bill Clinton, even Kamala Harris out of California, which I have shared here. For Kamala Harris, you have to realize her position. She had a job to do. She enforced the law. If the law was broken, guess what? That was her job as a prosecutor. So hop off on that end. But as far as for Joe Biden and Bill Clinton, come on now. Economic disparity persists. Despite decades of support, many black communities still face systematic economic challenges, which we still see that today. Critics argue that Democratic policies have not substantially closed the racial wealth gap or improved economic mobility. Very true. When I go back to taking the black vote for granted, a frequent critique, is that Democrats assume continued support from black voters without delivering meaningful or consistent policy improvements in return. I totally agree, because they continue to give us the headlines when it's a town hall or when it's some form of gathering, but they don't give us specific policies on, okay, what is that gonna consistent? What are you talking about with this? Let's be honest. There's politicians out there that choose not to speak to majority of the black community because they think they already have it in the bag. They continue the whole strategy of, well, let me go to a historic black church. Give me 3 months. I'm gonna go to a historic black church, talk a little bit of this, talk a little bit of that. Well, let me go ahead and march with a civil rights group, and then that's all the campaigning I need to do when it comes to the supporting the black community and gaining that black vote. Now, on the Republican side, you got guys saying, the blacks, they love me because I was incarcerated just like you. I was in jail just like you. We can relate. Oh, hey, you like my my sneakers, huh? Blacks? Yes, the blacks for Trump. I love the blacks. Like, again, it's BS on both ends on this. It's truly disrespect. But let me go back to the Democratic side. Urban neglect. Some predominantly black urban areas governed by Democrats have struggled with poor infrastructures, failing schools, and high crime rates, raising questions about long-term governance and policy effectiveness. Then lastly, symbolism over substance. Their perception that parties sometimes lean too heavily on symbolic gestures, like kneeling in Congress, right? Or that time when they wore the kente cloth. I'm talking about Nancy Pelosi and Schumer and taking it. Like, okay, doing a little bit too much there. You're doing a little bit too much rather than implementing substantive transform policies for change. So that's the bad qualities, I would say. Just some of my top bad qualities of what the Democratic Party. I feel like you continue to not listen to what the black voters are asking you all to do. I feel as though it gets ignored a lot, in my opinion. Now I can vouch for Virginia Democrats, because Virginia Democrats have always been in good support. A majority of them. Can't say most of them, but a majority of them. I'm saying that because, hey, Virginia is my home state. Likewise, those in the some of the Democrats in the the red states, right? They do what they can and stick, but at the end of the day, it's still hard because you're like, okay, look, you've had this time, you've had this, you had that. Why have we not seen any results? Now, here's some of the good qualities, right? Civil rights legacies, advocacy for social programs, criminal justice reform, diversity and representation. That is a key thing right there, diversity and representation. DEI is a huge initiative that is supported by the Democratic Party. That is something that they will always continue to vouch for. I mentioned about criminal justice reform. Democrats has led efforts to address mass incarceration because, look, they're trying to rebuild of the mistakes that was going on in the past from Democratic leadership. The party has traditionally supported social safety net services like Medicaid, food stamps, affordable housing, which has led to disproportionately benefited marginalized communities, including Black Americans. And then also, I mentioned about civil rights. The Democratic Party played a key role passing a Civil Rights Act of 1964. And I feel like they continue to do that to this day because somebody, this administration is trying to wipe away the positive. He's trying to go back to, make America great again. He's trying to go back and erase history, man. He's trying to take away all the progress that has occurred. He's ending DEI. He's ending that stuff. Why? Because he doesn't want equal opportunities for folks in brown folks, Black folks, minorities. He doesn't want that. Why? Because to them, I think, Obama's growth was a form of like whitewashing to some folks. I think that you had folks like a Donald Trump that did not like seeing a Black man like President Obama succeed, an intelligent Harvard grad, wife a Harvard grad, both attorneys, both clean records, no side piece of this, no. This man was with his one queen and is still with his one queen and has two beautiful daughters who are successful too. Look, Trump didn't like that because Trump got 3 baby mamas and multiple kids. All right. So he doesn't like that. He's like, something's wrong with this guy. I don't like it. Yada yada yada. No, he ain't like that. Now let me share qualities on the Republican side. So I'll start with the bad first. Southern strategy legacy, right? 1960s, the GOP has usually used coded messaging to appeal to white voters in the South. It's happening right now, right? When it comes to who does KKK members or these white supremacy groups, who do they endorse more? Who do they vote for? Republicans, conservatives, right? You get folks like a Steve Bannon, Marjorie Taylor Greene, all these crazy folks on the right, far right wing. It's disgusting. It is truly disgusting. Voter suppression accusations, right? You got lack of representation. There's only one Black GOP senator, and that's Tim Scott, who does not get any love. He continues to kiss the ring so many times, and he ain't never get a position. This is second term. He never get no position in the White House. All right. One of his bills, matter of fact, didn't even get passed. And there's the majority of majority Republican leadership in the House and Senate. Still didn't get passed. Tim Scott is a typical he has the he is looked upon as a puppet. That is what I'm trying to say. Same goes for Byron Donalds, right? There is a very, very small turnout of Black representation in the Congress, in Senate, in the Republican Party. Now, look, I have nothing against Black Republicans. That's needed because you need representation on both sides. But again, you look at the lack of diversity within that side. See, a Black Republican, the elected official, is going to say like, well, what about just the policy? What does it really matter? Why does it always be about race? It has a lot to do about race, because again, it shows the growth. Why can't your voters? Why can't Republican voters get behind a person of color? Because you have somebody in leadership that always criticize minority growth, saying that what is no longer about merit anymore. It's no longer about this and that. I mean, that's what you hear 24/7. Insensitive rhetoric. Republicans figures have frequently used language perceived as dismissive and hostile towards Black communities. Comments about crime, welfare, and inner cities. As I mentioned, what's her name? Marjorie Taylor Greene. She has been widely known to say some off the wall stuff. Then Matt Gaetz, same thing. Then he was a former congressman. And then also the neglect on racial justice issues. When it comes to race, Republicans are quiet. They never want to talk about it. Our current lieutenant governor in the state of Virginia is someone just like that, MAGA, Winston Earl Sears. She is a person that ignores, in my opinion, when it comes to racial justice issues. And I'm like, man, you made history by being the first lady, and and I'm pretty sure she's honored to receive that. But I just think that it needs to be shared, especially with the Virginia Republicans, because I mentioned in the show before, they're in a bit of a pickle because they want their only their only candidate running for lieutenant governor, their nominee, to resign. Now, allegations saying that there was some explicit photos that were shared online of him, and they're like, okay, this is not going to be a good look for us. But I just happen to say, hey, look, the candidate is openly gay, proud about it, but he's also a strong conservative, proud about that too. Now, in my mind, I'm like, what is really the deal that you want? Because when it comes to allegations, Republican parties, they stand behind whoever's in leadership position regardless. Look at the allegations that our current president has had. He's had tons of allegations out the you know what. So why isn't that okay? This guy has this one that he's already saying that is untrue. There's no truth to it, and this guy has been a vocal warrior for the right in the state of Virginia, right? He's a conservative talker. The gentleman's name is John Reed. Read it up. I hope to have him on this show, matter of fact. But you would think, I'm like, y'all have a chance to really gravitate to independent voters, folks that have left the Democratic Party, to have, the first African-American woman, the first Black woman elected governor, the first openly gay lieutenant governor, the first, not the first, but a Latin American, a Latino elected attorney general. That is a diversity ticket that would build up the right. But they don't want that. They don't want that. Why? Because they don't like change. They don't like progress. They don't like growth. They want to keep it old school, old fashioned. They don't like that. And it's sad, in my opinion. It's extremely sad. Because at the end of the day, the world we live in is a very universal society, right? Filled with so many different ethnicities, nationalities, religious backgrounds, sexual orientations. That's the world we live. That's America we live in. And people are trying so hard not to accept that. People are trying so hard not to. They try to cop out and skip around certain words like, oh, we're in this oversensitive world. We're in this, there's no civil dialogue in there. And it's just like, oh, give me a break, people. Y'all just don't want to see progress. That's all. I've spoken with folks like that time and time again. Let me tell you something. But it's sad. We will continue to see the growth of that. Yo, I'm looking at my time. I'm running out of time. But I will continue the conversation. Again, has the black community been suckered into voting for Democrats? Or black voters been suckered into voting for Democrats? I want to continue this conversation on the next show. I have a lot more other stories that I wanted to continue on. But again, for the sake of time, I won't have the time to do so today. But until next time, my friend, y'all take care. God bless. I will see y'all next time for another great episode of the Arrington Gavin Show. Y'all take care. Stay safe out there. Look, I'm out. See you next time.
That's it for tonight on the Arrington Gavin Show. Thanks for tapping in and keeping the conversation alive. Don't forget, stay connected with us on all platforms. Follow at Arrington Gavin on Instagram, Blue Sky, and X, and subscribe to the official Substack for exclusive takes and deep dives you won't get anywhere else. We're here every weeknight, same time, same energy, same real talk. Until next time, stay bold, stay sharp, and stay true. That's what we do on the Arrington Gavin Show. Peace.